Hey beautiful, thank you for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, thank you. If you're yet to hit the subscribe button, please subscribe to my channel for more sewing tutorial content. And today we'll be learning how to make this beautiful rich anti bubu with built up neck collar and front design. This bubu also has inseam pocket and neat finishing. If you're interested in learning how to make this type for yourself, keep on watching and let's get straight into this video. So right now I have folded my fabric into four to cut the front and the back, and like every other bubu, my fabric is in four folds. The closed part is the center front and the center back. So on fold here I have my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus the sleeve length. For the neckline I'll use 3.5 inches width, and for the back neck depth I'll use 2 inches, and I'll curve that out. For the front neck depth, I'll use 10 inches, and on that 10 inches point, I'll go in by half of an inch, and on that point, I will connect it straight to meet the neck width. So here I have the front and the back neckline. Next, I'm going to come down from the top of the shoulder line to my bust point line. And on that line I'll mark out my bust divide by 4 plus extra 1 inch for ease, and I'll make a mark. I'll also place my tape at the top of the shoulder line to get the waistline and the hip line. And on the waistline I'll also measure out my waist divide by 4, and I'll be adding extra 1 inch to that for ease. And I'll connect from the waist point to meet the bust point line. Then on the hip line as well, I'll measure out my hip divide by 4 plus extra 1 inch for ease. I'll connect the hip line to meet the waistline, and from the hip line I'll take it straight down to the hemline. Now I'll smoothen out the bust area into the sleeve opening like I am doing right now. Now I'll come down by 1 inch at the end of the sleeve opening area for the shoulder drop. Then I'll connect the 1 inch shoulder drop to meet the neck width area with a straight line. So basically we are done with the sketching out of this bubu. Now before cutting it out, I'll go ahead and add 1 inch sewing allowance at the side and also ½ inch sewing allowance on the shoulder line before cutting it out. And please remember to trim off the back neckline first. After cutting it out, I'll take away one piece for the back, and then I'll go ahead and trim off the front neckline area. Now I'll place the back piece on the front piece, then I'll head over to the sewing machine and join them at the shoulder line first. I'll join the both shoulders and I'll come back for the next step. So after joining them at the shoulders, this is what I have. Now for the front neckline, I forgot to tell you to give it a notch. So just fold it like this as I am doing now, and I'll give it a little notch inwards with my scissors. This is just to separate the two parts of the front neckline. Okay, just go ahead and notch it like I am doing right now. So you can see the notch is just a little notch. Okay, now I'll be measuring around the neck area, and the figure I get is what I'll be using to cut out the collar. So after taking the measurement round the neck from one front to the other, what I got is 33 inches. Now I'll go ahead and cut out a strip of fabric with excess. Okay, I'll cut this by 37 inches, so be on the safe side. So here is the strip I cut out for the collar, and like I said before, I cut this collar in excess of about 4 inches to be on the safer side, and the width of this collar is 2 inches because I want to have 1.5 inches bold collar by the end of the time I am done attaching it to the neckline with the half inch. Okay, so now I'll fold this collar into two to get the midpoint. I'll make a notch on that midpoint, then I'll fold the neckline, the back neckline, and I'll notch the middle of the back neckline. Now I'll go ahead and place the notch part on the collar and the notch part on the neckline together. I'll secure it with my pin, then head over to the sewing machine and attach the collar around the neckline area. So after sewing the collar around the neckline, this is what I have. What I'll do next is to tuck in the excess pieces from the collar, tuck it into the wrong side of the dress like I am doing right now. Then turn over to the wrong side and hold on to the two extra pieces from the collar and that little notched part from the fabric together, and I'll sew across it like so. Take your time and arrange this properly. Make sure they are well arranged and aligned to each other. Then head over to the sewing machine and sew across the three pieces I have like so, just to secure everything in place. So for the front design, I have this satin I'll be using for it, the same fabric I used for the collar. The width I'm using is 13 inches and the length is 11 inches. So 13 inches width, 11 inches length. So I placed this on fold so I'll have it thicker because I don't have interfacing right now to add to it, so that is why I am doubling this. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut this out. So for the design, I'll come in from the top. I'll come in by 3 inches and I'll make a mark on that 3 inches point. Then I'll hold that 3 inches point and fold it inwards like this. Now you can totally give this any design that you want. It's totally up to what you want. Okay, I'll do the same thing on this side. Go in by 3 inches and I'll pick that 3 inches point to fold it in. I'm going to use my pressing iron to press this to lay flat. I will also tuck in the rough edges inward by 0.5 inches and I'll use the pressing iron to iron this flat. So after folding and ironing it in place, this is what I have. You can see how the style came out really beautiful. Okay, so like I said, you can totally give this any design of your choice. Just bring in your creativity. So I'll place it on the neckline area. I'll make sure I overlap it on the collar by at least half of an inch. I'll make sure this is staying in place. Now I'll measure to check if what I have on one side is the same figure I have on the other side. So no side will be shorter and the other side will be longer. So I'll just adjust this to make sure it's laying at the center where it should be. Then after I've gotten the correct placement, you can either iron this down first with your hemming gum or pin it in place, whichever one works for you is fine. So I'll just iron this down with a little bit of hemming gum first before I take it to the sewing machine and stitch it all the way from one angle to the other. I'll stitch all around the angles and I'll be right back. So right now I'm done stitching all around the design and this is what it's looking like at this point. So here I have the band for the sleeve area. This was also cut 2 inches width and the length is long enough to go around the sleeve opening. Okay, so on fold it is 2 inches. If I open it, it is 4 inches. So by the time I sew it with half-inch round, I'll have 1.5 inches as the band at the end of the day. Okay, so I'll go right now and attach the band to the sleeve area. So right now the part of the sleeve band is done with and we are almost getting to the finish line. Now we are going to be attaching the pocket. So for the pocket bags, I have the piece I got from this fabric. There are 4 pieces altogether, 1 piece for each side of the front and the back. Okay, the measurements I used to cut this out is 10 inches by 10 inches. Now I am going to measure from the top of the shoulder to where this pocket is going to start from, which is the waistline. So from the top of the shoulder, I'll measure out my waistline measurement, that is 16.5 inches, and I'll mark that point. Now I'll place the whole pocket pieces on that waistline point. Then I'll tuck it in by about half of an inch. So I'll go ahead and trace out the side on these pocket pieces just to have it uniformed. Next, I'll place my hand on the pocket bags like so and trace it out. This is to ensure that the space is enough to accommodate my hand. Now I'll go ahead and trim it off. So right now I will align the sides. I'll simply fold one side over to meet the other side. I will arrange everything to make sure they is staying in place. Then I'll fold it over for one side to meet with the other side. Then I'm going to notch on that waist point mark that I made. This is to enable me place the pocket bags correctly and without mistake. After making the notch, I'll open up the dress. Then I'll take each piece of the pocket bag and attach on each side of the front and the back. So this is me pinning it to secure it in place. Then I'll go ahead and stitch down the pocket to the dress. Make sure the right side of the pocket is facing the right side of the dress at this point before going ahead to stitch it down. Okay, now I'm done stitching the pocket bags to the dress for both the front and the back piece, and this is it right here. Next thing to do, I'll turn the clothes over to the wrong side. I'll arrange this properly, making sure all sides are aligned with each other. Then I'll go ahead and stitch close the sides, starting from the sleeve opening like so. Then when I get to the pocket side, I'll move in, sew around the pocket back, come out and continue my stitch all the way to where my slit will start. Then whatever I do for this side, I'll do for this other side. Then after stitching close the sides, I'll finish up the hemline to give it a neat finishing. Right now I'm done stitching the sides, and I can say we are almost through with the making of this beautiful boo. What is left is to give this a really good press so it will appear even more beautiful than it is looking right now. Now this has brought us to the end of today's tutorial. If this tutorial was helpful to you in any way, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, kindly subscribe and turn on notification bell so you get notified whenever I post new videos. And please give this video a like so more people will get to see it and watch. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.